Welcome. Today we are going to be talking about how community college can help maximize your funds towards higher education. First, we're going to talk about the cost of higher education, then some of the ways to help manage those costs, and then how community colleges, in particular Santa Monica College, can help achieve that. When we look at the overall cost of higher education, we know from data, from the news, even from personal experience, that the tuition costs have far outpaced the increasing costs in lots of other areas. However, it doesn't change the value of a higher education. College degree recipients are still more likely to earn higher wages and are less likely to be unemployed. What it does mean is that we sometimes have to change our strategies about how we're going to pay for college. The first thing, obviously, we encourage all students to do is apply for financial aid. We want to maximize any free funds that students can receive, like grants or scholarships. However, due to the reality and the overall cost of higher education, loans often are part of that conversation. So here in the United States, the average student loan debt is about $30,000 for that bachelor's degree recipient. In California, our public universities, graduates are often accumulating a little bit less debt. We're looking at about $18,000. Now, all student loan debt is not a bad thing. Ultimately, as we talked about, it can lead to the future career and increased earning potential, but that has to be part of the conversation when we're balancing the quantity of loans we might need to take out and borrow during those years in higher education. Also, those loans don't go away if your career plans change, and so it's super critical that students are considering those factors when, again, considering the total amount of loans that they might accumulate over their time in higher education. One of the ways that you can help manage the total amount of loans accrued is by utilizing community colleges and the transfer pathway that we offer towards a bachelor's degree. Essentially, students will complete the first half of their bachelor's degree at a lower cost at the community college and then transfer to a university to complete the requirements for their bachelor's degree. Here in this chart, you'll see these are estimates of kind of the tuition at universities and colleges in California. This is just looking at tuition. It does not include room and board. However, the cost for California community college students is $46 a unit, and students can decide if they want to be full-time or part-time. But as a full-time student, you're still looking at less than $1,500 in tuition costs per year. And so compared to our four-year partners, what that means is that many students are able to manage the cost of their college education without taking out loans. They might need to work, they're likely living at home and commuting to campus, but all of those things, again, are easier to manage compared to those costs in addition to the tuition costs. So if students want to pursue the transfer pathway to a bachelor's degree, what does that look like? So typically when a student graduates from high school, if they go directly to a university, they're looking at a minimum of 4 years in order to earn their bachelor's degree. Students who graduate from high school and choose to pursue the transfer pathway at a community college, you might come to Santa Monica, who would spend approximately 2 years completing general education and major preparation courses. And then when you have accumulated enough units to be eligible for transfer, then you would go on to the university of your choice and spend, again, approximately another 2 years at that university to complete your upper division requirements and earn your bachelor's degree. Now, obviously, every student's path is going to look a little bit different, but this is a general overview of how the transfer process works. One of the unique opportunities available at California community colleges when we start talking about costs, so not only is the tuition cost lower, but as part of a statewide initiative, the SMC Promise is a program available at Santa Monica College, and this is for new and recently graduated high school students. But if they choose to enroll full-time in community college, they can be eligible for the SMC Promise, which will cover 2 years of college tuition and fees, in addition to some other benefits on our campus. So again, students do have to maintain their eligibility. They must be enrolled full-time in order to qualify for this program. But if a student arrives at SMC, knows what they want to study, is able to stay on track, they can attend the first 2 years of their higher education without paying any college tuition and fees, which means at the time of their transfer, again, that's the first time when they would need to really be considering things like loans, and that's obviously going to help manage the overall cost of their higher education. So if this is something that sounds appealing, then what would a student need to do to make that really work for them? So first things first, you want to start exploring your options while still in high school. If community college is going to be part of your plan, then certainly you want students to start thinking about what campuses, what majors that they might be interested in, and definitely start completing the steps they would need to enroll at Santa Monica College. Once they enroll at a community college, you want to make sure that you're getting connected with different support services on campus, whether that's things like the transfer center. Maybe it's getting involved in special programs. It could be getting involved in clubs. So a variety of different ways to get students connected on campus, working with both staff and faculty to help be supported, but also building a community is going to help them be most successful at a community college. Then they want to make sure that they're meeting with counselors regularly. Of course, they'll see their professors in the classroom on a consistent basis, but also meeting with counselors to make sure that you are moving towards your academic goals is critical. As students not only begin at Santa Monica but advance in their studies, sometimes majors change, sometimes academic interests evolve. And so making sure that they're meeting with counselors to talk about their goals and the next best steps each semester is going to be critical. And with that, their research, right? So they might have started at Santa Monica College with a particular goal, a particular school or major, but as those things change, students need to continue doing research. Maybe the schools that they want to transfer to have now changed. Maybe they need to be meeting with the representatives from those university campuses. And the great news is that Santa Monica has college representatives from those universities on our campus all the time, whether it's at college fairs, they're doing individual visits and appointments with students, doing information sessions on our campus. And so students can really take advantage of those resources. Finally, there's a range of transfer programs available in the state of California. Some of them you may be familiar with, things like the Transfer Admission Guarantee programs, very popular with some of our UC campuses. We also in California offer associate degrees for transfer to help students both earn an associate degree and be eligible to transfer into some of the four-year schools. There's also the Transfer Success Program at the Cal States, which is offering students guaranteed admission programs to, again, certain campuses and particular majors. So if you'd like to learn more about any of those transfer opportunities, definitely reach out to the Santa Monica College Counseling Department, and we would be happy to get you some additional information on that. We look forward to seeing you here at Santa Monica College.